think for me at least, biggest problem with success, or rather, why I can't um, succeed in the sense of stay. That for me, success is like to stay in this certain place or whatever it is that I am doing, and then stay for a while there, and then have experience of sustained successes in like whatever it is that I'm doing over a year or two or three, and just this thought that came to my head just now was that the closest that came to that in my sort of day life or day jobs was when I worked my last day job, as it were, that I loved so much. I think I spoke about it here a few times, I'm sure. In retail, I stayed there for 2 years, and never, ever have I stayed in any employment that long, ever. A year was maximum, and this was 2 years. And I was, and I did leave. I mean, but I was like COVID kind of induced, because yeah. So anyway, so maybe my point is, if COVID didn't happen, I think maybe I would have lasted for a third year. It was maybe, I don't know, but anyway, it ended up being just 2 years, still the longest ever. So to me, that's a kind of, if I can stay somewhere longer, that means success, because it means I'm doing what I love doing, and it happens to be paying as well, and it can support me. So that is my idea of success, or a version of success, that I can be happy doing what I love and yet be paid for that somehow. And I did love that day job, and whatever I was doing, that I genuinely loved everything. However mundane, it was just, well, it wasn't even mundane, it was just wonderful. Anyway, what that makes me, what I've been thinking about this morning is I hit a major sluggish phase in this thing that I'm committed to doing. I have already kind of announced, and there is a deadline for that to be complete. There are two things, in fact, but they're sort of connected. So by doing one, I will be able to work on the other one as well. So they're kind of complementing each other, sort of. So it's not like two completely separate projects. So I can kind of blend some work and what's the expression, like kill two. God, that's an awful expression. Two birds with one stone. Oh my god! I just realized what an awful expression that is. Ugh. Anyway, I can't think of a. But yeah, anyway, get two for the price of one. Right, that's that's better. God. So, and I hit a major, like, I just don't want to do it. I just have no inspiration, no motivation. So I was thinking a lot about that and why that is, and I have various explanations and reasons. But the one I want to bring here is just today. I might talk about the others tomorrow. Is audiences, and or rather, who am I doing it for? This is such a big theme, at least for me, and I would imagine for all of us. Really, I don't know. I mean, to be presumptuous, but it's at the root of like, who is it for? Why do it? Who for? It's kind of like, if there's no one out there who will see it or will want to see it, it's like, what's the point of doing it? Or rather, what's the point of making it public? There's a difference there. I don't know. But the thing with me is like, it's always been such a back and forth pull, or push and pull, and so I very quickly feel very deeply, immensely restricted, like suffocatingly restricted, right? Once I start to gain audience, and well, yeah, and especially if I engage with them, which I do to an extent, and because I am on one hand genuinely thankful for their comments, for their interest. It's I enjoy it. It's nice, and it's gratifying, satisfying, maybe both. But it's like I start seeing their faces, even though I don't necessarily literally see their faces, but I kind of see their names or whatever not hashtags, those usernames that I own either here or other platforms, whatever. meaning I just kind of become familiar with them in that still very remote way, but still. And it's like, I think I spoke of this maybe here as well. When I was a kid, I lived on stage. I had, not in drama, not like plays, but just recitals was a big thing, and then dancing, folk dancing thing, and what else? And just, yeah, giving speeches. Yeah, that's another one. And anyway, and what I loved is there was a mass of people, and I just kind of didn't see any one. I just saw this mass, and it was impersonal in a way, even though I knew it was my small town, so I kind of knew all of them, but I didn't see them as such. I kind of didn't really rest my face on any of them. Somehow, I don't think I had a technique or anything. I know there are techniques people use, like you fixate on one person. I don't know if I could do that. Oh my God, I couldn't. And then this was public speaking on daylight, so there was no, you can see the audiences, but even the best part rather, was when I was on stage, and then there would be literal stage, so I'm lit up in the spotlight, and then blackness everywhere else. So you can kind of make out the contours of people and audiences, like bodies and heads or whatever, and movements, and hear some kind of murmur occasionally, whatever, all of that. So you kind of know people are there watching, but I don't know who they are. I don't know them, and they're they're incognito, they're anonymous, and that is the elixir, that is the formula for my joy and satisfaction and happiness. And that's my perfection ideal, rather. That's how I would love to be here. That's why I would love millions of people to be watching this. Yes, I can be megalomaniac, but I don't want to know who they are. I don't want to have an inkling of that, but kind of just to know that there are people watching, that I can maybe see the numbers of who viewed it or something. Yeah, there is that, isn't there, on YouTube? So there is this audience piece that really kind of fuels the performance, and fuels the productivity, and fuels the creativeness and creativity and creations, right? And whatever that it is that I'm creating. But so I suppose the fact that I have no audience here, which is partly my wish, and the reason it is a wish is because of what I just described. Once I kind of get fixated on the audience, or rather can distinguish it, and it becomes too real, I can't. I just start to think, oh well, I feel like I do it for them. Then that was the piece. Sorry. So, or feel it's almost like I can't stop that. That's what I've been struggling with. Maybe not even, I haven't maybe even worked on it. That sense that if I know I have the audience, I find myself every time thinking about them when I'm producing stuff. And that is a killer of my joy and my creativity and my freedom, which is what feeds my soul. Those three things: of joy, freedom, most, and all of it is freedom really for me. And it's all my doing. It's not like any audience particularly, I mean, I may well lose them if I start producing stuff that I don't think they will want, or they actually don't want. I just do it because I love it. But and that's the thing. It's like that. I'm working on not caring about that, not in a sort of horrible way, and I don't for the most part, but it's such a battle. I end up winning, if you like. I end up doing what I love, but it's such a turmoily time, like, till I get to that place. So now with this thing, it's like I'm creating this work, this piece that's going to be published. I'm creating it because I already done it once, and it was well received, and it could be a nice money earner, kind of like a passive-ish income. And so there's all these pluses for it, but I think because it's like, I personally don't want to do it now. Personally, I don't want to, just obviously I'm struggling with being motivated to do it. So obviously I don't want to do it. But I have to if I'm, to do this longer term and have this sense of sustained income and sustained success with something. And the other thing, the irony is, when I have done it, and I started earlier this year, doing it second time around, I enjoy it. I love it. I can really love it, but I'm not loving it today, and I haven't loved it for a week. But the time is running out. There's a deadline. So there is a major thing. It's like, but if I was doing what I wanted to do, which, whatever that is, it's not for sharing here necessarily, but it's like, and I have been doing that, then I'm happy to do that. I'm happy because I'm doing what I want to do, but because there is stuff I need to do because of this commitment I made to whom? to myself, but it's easy. So the bottom line here, let me see, 10 minutes, okay, this is a bit long, but so the third piece here is that the commitment. So it's like I make them, and this is the piece essentially. I think this is the ultimate, the conclusion and the point of this video is that about this 110-day challenge is that I actually I followed someone else's model. Someone I follow and I love to bits. He's just amazing. He's just such a great character and has so much wisdom and whatever, and marketing kind of wisdom. That's his thing. And in such a genuine, really authentic way, which is so refreshing. And so he had this thing about 100 videos, and I was like, yeah, let's just, I'd like to have that kind of, let's try. And I'm like, I mean, I don't know. This, like I said in my last one, it's not a bad thing, but it's like, why am I doing it? Why am I doing this? Really don't know anymore. And I think I was thinking back, thinking back to times when I started and all these, like, I was so excited at the time, but I think what I envisaged was just this, a potential future. I mean, I think that's the kind of thing, a potential future. But it's too abstract, I suppose. And I haven't really felt much of that, if anything, really, like even kind of had a taste of that, because it's abstract and because it's not there yet, that future. I don't know. And the bottom line of the bottom line is that this is what happens when you follow someone else's model. So I wonder whether this whole thing, 100 videos a week, 100 videos every day, 110 in my case, whether that was just silly, because why do something that I never really done before, or never, but that's the thing, because I never done it before, I was curious to do it, or not, certainly to this extent. So part of me today feels like, I mean, no one's watching, no one cares in a sense. They have there are no expectations on me other than my own on myself. And so I can just remove that. It's like my own doing. I cannot do it. I'm the ultimate authority here, essentially, for this purpose of this, what I'm doing here. And yet it's like that thing, well, I suppose I'd feel like a failure. I sort of gave up, and I wonder who that is. Who is this person saying that? I don't know. I don't think I feel like that. I don't feel like that myself. But it's like everyone I know, everyone I've seen, everyone I've ever read thinks like that. And I'm like, yeah, that's a peer pressure, however abstract, in the sense that people actually really care about personal, there are only few, if even few, maybe a couple, maybe one. They don't care. They're happy either way. So there's that. So it's not really important, if you like. Meaning, who would be very important, whose view would be important to me, they don't care. So there's not that weight. So it's really just this, again, abstract, advice, or abstract model, or abstract idea that something is right or wrong. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to do wrong. I want to try the right way to see, isn't that how it works? Because nothing else worked, but worked. That's the thing. Anyway, this has been an interesting video, somewhat rambling. But yeah, I'll be back with some more rambles, or maybe more succinct videos tomorrow.